love in your neighbor as you love yourself? If you were in need, would you hope for help? If you had nowhere to turn and all the doors were closed, would you long to be rescued by a...
When I was a young man, we were real poor, and at times, you know, my mom was addicted to heroin, and not for any long period of time, but there were times when we lived in the car, and we had nowhere to go. You know, so I had a little bit of empathy from that, I think, from my childhood, just being raised in hard times. You know, when your mother's on drugs, you know, it's very difficult. I ran into a homeless lady in a wheelchair, and the lady who was my passenger had told me a little bit about her, and I want to ask the lady in a little bit if all that's true. But I asked her what she wanted to eat, and she said she wanted a McMuffin. So here we are at McDonald's. We're going to get her a McMuffin right now.
All right, so 2 sausage egg McMuffins and a large Coke?
Yes, sir.
All right, your total's going to be $5.39 at the next window.
Thank you. You know, the purpose of these videos is first and foremost to help the homeless people, you know, and to get them the help they need, rather than just assuming what we think they need, asking them directly, you know, what do you need? You know, what are the best things to help you? Because we, you know, for those of us, you know, who have limited or no experience with the homeless, we really don't understand what it's like to be out there. We don't really understand what the needs are, you know. Before I started going out there, I seen all these tents, and I thought they were protected from the weather. But, you know, you get out there and you realize these tents have holes in them. These tarps have holes in them because these tents and tarps weren't made for people to live in every day. So, you know, that's why, you know, the sleeping bag issue came up, waterproof sleeping bags, so at least they can sleep dry. So as we get out there, we get more understanding, and then we can better utilize the funds we do have to help the people in a way that's really going to be helpful to them, you know. And I think that's the key, is that we want to really be help and not just do what makes us feel good. And eventually, I guess the goal is, you know, how can we see them transition for those that want to? Because some people want to be out there, you know. But for those who want change, how do we bring them from the streets to a transition, and then eventually to where they have their own home, you know, or their own apartment or a condo or whatever it may be. And so they're not out there in the rain. They're not out there hungry. They're, you know, back in society. They're working. So I think those are the eventual goals. But the immediate goals is, how can we help them in a situation that's tough right now? But what do you see? You're out here, right?
I live out here, and I'm a gate monitor every night. And only thing, even like tents, bedding, pallets, but padding for beds and stuff, we would do all right.
Yeah. Okay.
And like tarps.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Okay.
Because there's going to be rainy season, so we need something to block the rain from all of us. So,
okay.
There's over 410 people here.
Right here?
The whole thing, whole camp.
Yeah.
There's 400, and there's over 200 some tents.
So the biggest problem is the price of housing. Then that's what's contributing the most to this.
They got people that rent their garage. They split it in 4, and they rent $600 each square.
That's dirty. Here in Modesto?
Yeah, in Modesto.
that's ridiculous.
It is, yeah. And there's no curtains up. You're just in the garage with a bed there, bed there, bed there, and a bed there.
Real privacy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just greed then.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is greed.
Yeah. A lot of people, and that's what they do. They don't care what they do in the place.
Yeah.
It's ain't good. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Anything else you guys want to add that might help the people, or?
I'm glad it's people like you that come out and help.
Yeah, we try, and you know, we don't have all the answers, and we don't claim to, but we know a little bit goes a long way.
Yeah, stomach full is always good.
They, you know those hand warmers?
Yeah, hand warmers.
Those right there are.
Especially as it gets cold, huh?
The feet and the hands. You can't do anything until you can get your hands warm enough to be able to do stuff without bumping them. And
that's good that you tell me this, because nobody said this yet. They've said flashlights, blankets, tents, like umbrellas, you know, to keep the rain off if you can't have a tent, you know. So another reason why I'm making this video is to, you know, to make sure people understand how easy it is. It only takes like, you know, a couple bucks, you know, or $1 sometimes. Just, you know, somebody's hungry and they're starving and haven't eaten. $1 burrito is a blessing. $1 hamburger, you know, whatever it is, you know. An ice cream, you know, on a hot day, you know, you bring someone an ice cream at 89 cents from McDonald's, you know, that's a great thing. You go down to Walmart and buy, you know, the $3 ice cream sandwiches and hand them out to, a bunch of people. And man, that'll really bring some immediate joy. I mean, it may not be long lasting because once the ice cream's gone, but it may change their whole day. And it's that easy to have an impact on somebody, Don't cost a lot, don't take a lot of time. And we can really help someone who's less fortunate and who really needs, because when you're out there and you're hungry, you have nowhere to live, people are walking past you like you're not there, man, a little gesture can mean a whole lot.
God bless you guys. From what church are you guys?
We just have a small ministry for my family, and it's called Carry the Cross.
You guys have a house or something?
Not yet. We're working on it. We're doing the shooting a documentary right now on homelessness.
You take a picture of me and my dad?
Okay.
I'm going to tell these people when you guys came to right here to Westside. You want to take a picture? God bless you guys. Came to help all my bodies right here, and it's not just that. You guys bring food to all these people. People with all the needs. You know what? Not because we live in the streets. That means we listen to anybody, right? God bless you guys. Right?
Yeah. Man, how you doing? I was just out here, blessing the people, doing it all unto God, man, being a servant, And that's what it's all about, man, loving people, man. People that are down and out, man. Sometimes there's no hope, well, they feel there's no hope, So we got to come out and let them know that there is hope in Jesus, man. It's not just about feeding them physically, man, but it's about letting them know that there's hope, praying with them, letting them know that God loves them, man. Because a lot of these people, they feel like they're done, man. And talking to people out here, a lot of these people out here, man, they're good people, man. They're trying to work. They different situation. No brother out here that he was making $7,000 a month, man. He lost his job, he lost his home, and he's out here. He got blessed. He got 2 jobs now. He's qualifying for another house. So not everybody out here is just doing bad. There's a lot of people, a lot of different stories. And sometimes we look at people and we can judge them by their outside look, man. But there's a lot of good people. All these people are good. We just have different things that we've struggled with in life, man. And I have a testimony of being homeless. So
I was going to ask you, what can the average person, that they ain't got that experience, what would you recommend to them to, if they want to help but they just don't know how, in their daily life, they're going through the drive-thru, is there something they could do? I mean, what could they do immediately, right now, they could just run down and do something? What could they do to help?
Man, just give a person a hug that's down and out, man. A hug goes a long way, man. You don't realize just a couple words of encouragement go a long way. Words can mean the difference of life and death, man, because on the receiving end, when you're on that end, man, just words, can make a whole difference in somebody's life, man, that's down and out, man. That's all it's about, man. It's just loving people, man. And because a lot of times we try to change people, that's not up to us, man. Our job is to love. God changes them, We can't play the Holy Spirit and try to change people. We can tell them, but man, when you love people, man, God's gonna do the rest, It's just about showing the love of God and the love of Jesus. That's what Jesus did, man. He broke bread with the sinners, with the people that was everybody looked down at, And that's what I learned, man. It's like even Jesus Christ, you look at David, man, his walk, man, he was a man after God's own heart, but yeah, he was a murderer, he was an adulterer, he did all these things, And God showed us in the Bible that no matter where we're at in life, no matter how far we've fallen, man, that there's hope, man, because he comes.
Super shy.
Yeah, And if he could do it, man, there's no Paul, man. He killed Christians, And he's one of the greatest men in the Bible, So there's no excuse, no matter how far we've fallen, no matter where we come from, man. There's hope in Jesus, man.
Food, of course, eating every day is important, but there's a lot of other stuff that a lot of times we don't consider. Toiletries. Right now it's the rainy season, so toilet paper gets wet. So wet wipes down at Walmart, I think it's $2.68. You get 3. 40 wipe, I think it's 40 wipes packages, and that's great, for this season. Then they have 40 wipes they can use, and we know that one wipe don't do the job, but it's better, the more you have the better. There's tents, they don't last that long, so they need them new every so often. Tarps, of course, to cover the tents once they have holes, and underneath so the ground ain't wet under their tent. Sleeping bags, so waterproof, so at least they can be a little bit drier, because you're already coming in from outside in the rain and it's wet, so you want to stay dry. It's not comfortable sleeping wet. Dog food, of course. When we went out there and gave out dog food, they really, really loved and appreciated that. I think we won some people that we hadn't had before because of the dog food. Oh, the other big one is flashlights. You know, a lot of people say during the nighttime they need to see in the dark, and being able to walk around, you know, you fall down, you get hurt, it exasperates the problem, you know. You can't see where you're going. Sometimes there's people lurking, you know. All right, so we're here with Anita. She does a lot of great work in the community with the people here in Bear Brook Park in this community. And so just tell us who you are and what you do, Anita.
Hi.
And share with the people.
Sure. My name is Anita Garcia, and I am just a regular volunteer that comes here almost every day. I want to say that we have over 400 people here, and their tents are soaking wet. They're sliding. The city said that we don't need any more donations, which is not true. We do need donations. There's a lot of tents that have holes. They have holes. Yeah. They're ripped.
I mean, so regular people like us, you know, who are not even like, because I only have a little experience, but what about people with no experience? What would you say to them? How would you communicate to them how they could help?
People that don't have experience. Picture yourself with nothing. With nothing, nobody. Here, we have Bear Brook here. And you know what, if it wasn't for the volunteers, it would be so much harder. It's not just at Bear Brook, it's all over through Modesto. It's all over through the state. It's everywhere. You know, I just don't help here. I help also at Insland Park with Pancakes in the Park with Donna Power, Eric's second and third week. I help, you know, whenever you can help somebody. You know, whether keep some extra clothes in your car, you know, hand it out. Whether it's these jackets, whether it's a jacket, whether it's socks, whether it's a smile, number one.
Old blankets in the house,
yes,
right?
Yes, old blankets in the house. As long as they're clean, you know, yes, absolutely.
Well, yeah, no dirty
you know?
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, all of this is about being a Christian. Yeah. That's our job. You know?
I agree.
It's our job as being a servant of God, you know, to help each other, you know, and share the love and give them something to look forward to. You know? And that's what I could say.
Anything else?
No.
Thank you so much. Here. I know you got to go get the refrigerator and all the different stuff to help people.
Actually, yes, we do have some success stories where people have moved out. We have a lot of people have moved out to temporary housing. They have moved out to their own place. So there are people working. You know, it's just so hard with the rent cost. It's just so expensive when you're on a limited budget.
Yeah, SSI. A lot of people are out here and they get SSI.
Yeah, and what I do, I would recommend personal donations. You know, if somebody wants to come out and give tents, get to know the people. Get to know the people.
I agree.
And if you see that, because a lot of these tents are up, but they have holes. They have rips. They have holes. They need canopies to cover it, you know. But
duct tape, anything, anything to help. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Anita. There's so many diverse problems. You know, like Bear Brook Park, they have a lot of resources. You know, people are coming and feeding. People know they're there, so they a lot of their needs are met. You know, it's still a hard situation, but a lot more of the needs are met, you know, and that's where we found out about the tents, you know, with the holes in them, and trying to get, you know, we're going to try to raise some funds to get some waterproof bags. Hopefully we're able to do that, you know, and just, but like, it's the other places. Like, remember, we talked with the one man who did 27 years in prison, and he said he got his shoes stolen off his feet 2-3 times.
I have an income.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? And also, I spent 27 years in prison, and I've been out 6 years, and this is the hardest thing for me to adapt and learn and how to do the right way, because I didn't know what the right way was. Okay, so I have an income. I get out of prison. I've never established myself in society. I'm a nobody. I have no wife, no kids, no family, no brothers, no sisters, nobody. We just all walked away from each other. And so to get into an apartment or get a place to live, man, you need references, you need co-signer, you need what's your last residence you lived in? Can you show proof that you paid gas and electric bill and you know it, and it's all good, you know what I mean? And you didn't flake out on them, and, man, you know? Then they do most of them do a straight out background check, right? And it comes back, this guy here is a criminal, and man, it doesn't matter what the case may be, you know what I mean? I served my time, I paid my dues, man, and what broke my heart was the last 10 years of my life, man, it wasn't all about me, it was all about my homeboys, man, and they weren't, they took me into a bad situation, when it got heavy and everything else, man, and the law got involved, they didn't raise their hands. You know what I mean? I'm just perfectly innocent, but I rode the beef, and I decided right then and there, man, I'm never, the only loyal person in the world is God. You know what I mean? So for me to get off the streets and to get into a place, I had no clue.
Can we pray for you real quick?
Well, sure you can.
All right, man. Oh, my brother, man. Give me that hand, man. Lord, I thank you for my brother, man. And I just lift him up right now. It sounds like that he's had a hard life and a lot of hardship. And right now, my cousin Jeremy rode a beef for somebody. And he's still in there. He's been down since '99, so I understand that, Lord. And I just pray, Lord, that you open some doors for this man, Lord. And I know sometimes when you open doors, they're not always the doors that we think are the best doors.
But you do, Lord.
Yes, Lord. And as you open these doors, Lord, give him the peace in his spirit to know that these are the doors that you're opening. And not just that, Lord, but strengthen him when he gets weak, when it gets hard, when he's tired, when his joy is gone, and he feels like he's on his last legs, when he feels people are trying to push him into a corner, when he feels like people are manipulating him, when he feels like he can't trust those around him, they let him down. It's just treacherous out here at night, huh?
It is, you know. And this is crazy. I made one part, man, and it was like about 10 kids, ranged from 8 years old to 12 years old, on bicycles, knives, pipes, boards. They were mugging all the homeless people and taking our backpacks. And they came at me because I stopped them from stealing one of my friend's backpacks at the park. And when they came at me, I was lucky one kid slid in his bike, landed in front of me. I snatched that bike up, man, and I'd hold that bike, man, and I was just spinning myself. From a bunch of little rugrats. You can't touch them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not until they establish themselves in the community that you're a bunch of up kids, which is eventually it got to that point. But it took like a couple years, but we got away with a lot of.
They're just messing with you every day,
man. Yeah. You know, and then the other ones were high school kids. Just for the hell of it, man. They just wanted to suck on me, man. You know what I mean?
That's deep, bro. That's some. Here's a dude, you know, was in prison. You know, for a long time. He said, right? He said life, right? That's what he said, life?
No, he just did
27.
Yeah, 27.
Okay, so 25 to life is the normal, you know, people think of, so 27 is a long time.
Long, man.
And he said he came out here and he's terrified. That's how bad it is in Modesto at night. He was in prison for 27 years. That means he wasn't on, at some point he was not on the easy yards in prison, which are not easy. Easy yards doesn't mean easy, which means they're easier than the harder yards. When you serve 27 and you're first there, they put you on the heavier yards and you got to work your way down if you work your way down. And he said he's terrified out here. He had his shoes stolen. He said he's been stabbed. He's been beat up. He's been beat up by kids. He's been little kids, big kids, hit with pipes. It kind of reminds us how bad society is, that kids are running around beating up people who have nothing and robbing people who have nothing. You know, and I think that's the mark of a society, is how you treat the people who can do nothing for you. You know, I think that's how you judge a society, whether it's a civil society or not. If you're treating the people who can do nothing for you like garbage, beating them up, just randomly, he said, talking about people just wanting to punch him, you know, for no reason. And I think that's the devil. That's the devil working through people. That's what I believe. A man already, you know, he ain't got nothing but his bottle of whiskey, really. You know what I mean? And people see the need to come up and beat on that man. You know, so it's treacherous out there. You know, when people don't have nothing, man, sometimes to get something, you'll go beyond what you know is right or wrong. You know, you'll transgress right and wrong. And so that's the thing that I didn't know, was how treacherous it can be when you get down by the river and people beating each other up and robbing each other, you know. And it's unfortunate, but what can you do, you know?
Yeah. This one's a little bit thicker. That one's thick. And then I got this Niners. I got to get that one. Or do you want that one?
I'm an Oakland fan.
Oh, you're Oakland? You're an Oakland fan? Then try this one. I was going to give it to somebody else, but that might work. That'll work? Okay. And this is for the lady? Yeah. Well, then do you want to get a Niners one to your partner? The other dude who was out here earlier?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we need one.
Yeah.
He's coming back too.
Yeah.
You got to come back. The food is right there.
Okay, yeah, he got to come back, huh?
Yeah. You want me to eat?
You guys still hungry now?
I'm good.
You need another burrito?
I'll take another burrito.
Yeah.
That should keep you guys.
I didn't want to put my word on it till I knew I was coming back for sure. There you go.
Oh.
Okay.
Pick it up.
Yeah. Y'all got some water right there to keep y'all straight. God bless y'all, brother. Huh?
Well, you know, you can't shower every day. You know, your clothes are not washed every day. You know, a lot of times employers are looking for, you know, people who are neat and cleanly. So, you know, that can really make it hard for someone to find work. You don't get, you're not safe every night. So, you know, you're not getting good night's sleep sometimes. You come to work tired. Another thing that's a problem is the addresses. You know, if you don't have an address, where do they mail the stuff? Where do they, you know, it's hard to get a hold of someone who doesn't have an address or somewhere. You know, some people have a person that will let them say, you can use my address. But in some cases, they don't have anyone, you know, that'll vouch for them, you know. Just time and being homeless has a way of exasperating resources, you know, and people get tired of helping someone if they don't think it's going somewhere. And that's unfortunate, you know. And, you know, so there's not a whole lot of help for these people. I mean, we do have some great places like the Gospel Mission and the Salvation Army, but the problem is a lot larger than the help that they're able to give, you know, because they can only do so much with their resources. But I think if we come together as a county here in Modesto or in whatever county, whatever city, as a group, I think we can make the problem a lot easier to solve, because there's an old saying, many hands make the load light, you know, and if we come together and we work together to solve this problem, I think we can do it, but we have to be motivated.
This is Michael. I met him a while ago, and I got to pray for him, and some of y'all prayed for him as well.
Yeah.
So what are some of the, what was going on, and what are some of the changes? Just share whatever you would feel comfortable sharing.
Well, when you first met me, I was stealing from stores to make my rent every day. And now I'm washing windows and stuff to earn my money, and I recycle. I don't know. I haven't stolen since that day, so yeah. And I got a room almost every day now too.
That's
so
awesome.
You know,
yeah.
It wasn't like that then. I don't know. I don't know, I pray a lot more now and I talk to God, you know.
That's a blessing.
Most definitely. I got a girl now, I got another dog.
Amen.
Yeah.
So that's a blessing, you know.
Yeah,
for me, that's definitely a blessing to hear, because, you know, remember when we met, man, it was a tough time. I think God intervened in your situation at that time and kind of spoke to your heart.
Most
at
definitely,
that time.
I was crying.
It's all good though. We all cry, man. We all go through hard times, you know. And so you tell us some of the stuff that help you. Like when people see someone like you that, you know, you don't want to steal no more. You're out there trying to work. You know, you guys shared with me paper towels. I forgot paper towels, but I got something better.
Yeah.
And because you're trying to wash windows to make money, so you can support yourself till you can get a job, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get a room to rent. That's my main goal right now. I'm trying to find someone who'd be willing to rent to me with 2 dogs and 2 people, you know? And
yeah.
I don't know. That's been my main obstacle right now.
I think the Lord could do it.
Oh, I know He can.
Yeah. So what can we do to help you? What are some of the things that would make us like people on every average day, people on the street who don't understand, who ain't been there, or have limited experience with it, what would you say to us? How can we help someone in your position?
Honestly, man, just being treated like a human being means so much. It's crazy. Like, I have people, like, I'll say, excuse me, may I wash your windows? And they'll hit me with a F you or something like that, you know, and I just tell them, have a good day, you know? And, I don't know, being treated like a human is, I don't know. It's nice, you know? It's like, even if you don't want your windows washed, you just say no thank you, or, you know, or yeah, I'm good, or whatever, you know?
I agree.
You know,
I think people should treat you with respect, you know? They shouldn't be mean. They shouldn't be disrespectful. You know, you're a human being, man, and just because you fell on hard times doesn't give the right for everyone to walk all over you. I agree.
And most people don't realize that, man, without a job, in a couple weeks, you could be exactly where I'm at, you know what I mean? It don't take long. Don't take long at all. And I've been homeless most of my life. My mom and dad are both junkies, you know what I mean? This is nothing new to me. I've been doing this literally since day one.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. So you're just trying to raise up out your circumstances and have it better. So when you eventually do have children, no, I appreciate that. That's what's up. So what I want to do for you today, I thought about it. You said, you know, $20 will be enough because I'm taking time away from your work. But what I want to do and what I feel led to do of God is to give you, you said it's 55 for a day? So I'm going to give you 60, bro. You feel me? Because you know I love you. You already know that.
Yeah, man, I love you too, man.
And, you know, just don't give up, man. Keep working hard. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
And we're going to get together again. I got to go see, you know Dean, right?
Yeah,
the shower?
Yeah,
I'm going to go see Dean right now.
Park.
Yeah, that's my boy right there.
I love that dude, man. I met him right over here on the side of the... Burlington.
Right.
Him and we prayed and stuff. He told me like how he started Church in the Park. He started that thing with a food stamp party. He was homeless.
Yeah.
And just got some people together, gave him something to eat, and prayed with them. And it turned into this big thing. You know what I mean? So anything can
Dean
happen.
is one of the hardest brothers out here, bro.
Yeah.
He really loves the Lord, bro.
Yeah, he does.
And that's why I always stay connected to Dean.
He's
and
about
I love
to have
Dean.
the laundry shuttle too.
I know. He's that dude is sick, bro.
Yeah.
He's sick, bro.
All right, so we just got done with Mike. Now, I was in the car when you went to the ATM. How much were you going to give him?
I was going to give him 20.
20 for the interview because he said, you know, basically
he had to work.
Yeah, he had to work, so we were taking time out of his day. You were going to pay him $20, which definitely would have more than compensated him. But as we saw, you basically took care of his daily wage, so that was a big thing. What were you thinking about? What were you feeling at that moment?
Well, I felt like the Lord wanted me to bless him because he's trying. You know, he's out here working, washing windows every day. He's working hard, and I just wanted to give him a blessing and encourage him. You know what I mean? He said he paid he still owes half of yesterday's rent, and he owes today's rent because I guess they're working with him, which is a blessing that hotel's working with him. And so, you know, by giving him 60, you know, it's about, I think he said it's 55 a day, so 22 and a half plus 55 is 77.50. So that brings him, so he only has to make 17 today outside of eating, you know. And so that was my plan, is to get him to right there to where he didn't have to work too hard to eat and to have his money today, you know.
And when we shut off the cameras, he expressed some gratitude without any explicative. What was he trying to tell you?
He was just saying on a real level, thank you. You know, well, in the streets we say, you know, on a real tip, you know, but we don't say tip, of course, you know. Thank you. And that's a blessing, you know. And I could tell that it really ministered to him, you know, because he had to work. I understood that, so I offered 20. But once I, you know, processed everything in my mind, I seen that it'd probably be better if I just made his day a little easier today, you know. And it's not going to hurt me that much, but I think that's what the Lord wanted me to do. So that's what I'm going to do with the seed that I have. All right, y'all. You guys know me, I'm Brother Sanjo, and I'm here, and you know, we're working on this documentary. We're here with my brother Dean, and I'm just thankful to be here with my brother Dean. I've known Dean for quite a long time. He started a ministry that's pretty amazing called Church in the Park, and just go ahead and tell us a little bit about that ministry to start. Just tell us about, you know, how it started, what the situation, maybe your testimony, and then how we got there to the ministry and stuff. Just share with us from your heart, man, brother.
Well, Joe, back in 2009, actually 2008, I hit rock bottom. I ended up out at the safety center, and I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I just basically unloaded my wagon at the foot of the cross. I just asked Christ into my heart, told him I was so done with doing the things I was doing and burning the bridges and the people I was burning. And I just surrendered. And when I surrendered, man, something happened. I remember that clearly when he responded to my prayer. I remember things. There was a turnabout moment right then and there, right there in that jail cell. And I had about 4.5 months to go, and I said, Lord, I don't want to wait till I get out of here to do something. I want to do something now. I want to start helping these guys in this cell, in this pod, in this unit. And so I started looking for ways. I started looking out. Before, when I was in my addiction, and I won't touch too much on that, but just know this: I was a slug. I was out there victimizing people just to keep my addiction going. And when I got delivered from that by the power of God, I started wanting to look for ways that I could help give back. And so I started looking right there within my immediate sphere of influence, and that was the inmates. And so I was sitting in the day room one day, and I heard this guy say, man, I got this headache. Oh, this headache's killing me. And the nurse won't be here till in the morning, and yada, yada. And it was like, boom, a light bulb went off in my head. It was like Christ said, go help him. And so I got an impulse. I ran upstairs to my unit, and I jumped in, and I looked at the sheet, the store sheet, the commissary, and I looked on it and it said, Excedrin, Tylenol, and the little packets, and I was like, so I checked on the mark there, and I ordered some of those things up. And then I heard another cat say, I got heartburn so bad, and so boom, a light went off in my head, Rolaids. And so I went and I ordered some Rolaids, and I just started loving on these guys in practical ways. Little did I know, God was preparing my heart for a ministry he was going to use me to start at Church in the Park. So when I got out of jail, I ended up going to the Modesto Gospel Mission. I stayed there for 1.5 years, and I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And during that time, the Lord put a vision on my heart to start this park outreach, and just to go and basically share what I had, which was my testimony, that I was no longer a hopeless dope fiend, that God had delivered me, and what little resources I had was this little food stamp card. And so I was like, Lord, how am I going to start a church? I mean, I don't even know the first thing about it. But the glimpse of a vision that I caught was a church coming together out in the open air, and literally playing softball together, volleyball together, breaking bread, having barbecue. And
I remember. I used to go over there.
And so that's just how it started. And all I had was that $200 food stamp card. So it's like the Lord said, bring it to me, like the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes. And so I brought him what I had, which was that $200 food stamp card. We broke it into $50 a week. 4 weeks in a month. Every Saturday we'd go to the 99-cent store and buy hot dogs and chips, and then just go out to the park and just love on people and share what little we had. Didn't have any money. Didn't even have money to buy the paper plates and the styrofoam cups, for the drinks. But little by little, each week, as we continue to do this, the Lord just continued to bless it. And it just continued to grow and grow, and to the point where we got our first box truck, and then from that box truck we outgrew that box truck, then we got a second box truck, and from that box truck we needed a trailer for the clothing, and here's the clothing trailer behind us, and then we needed a warehouse to store all this stuff. We needed chairs to seat the people.
Warehouse, right?
The Lord just door after door after door he opened up to us. And so now the outreach is grown to the point where it's not uncommon to see 250 people in the park, and that's the attendees and also the volunteers, people coming together, working together, loving one another and serving one another. We create a meal out there and serve it after the church service. And then our motto is really find a need and fill it. We believe in meeting a practical need, because we believe that'll open up the door for a spiritual need later on. And once you build trust with that individual, then they may let their guard down. They may actually be willing to listen to, your story of why you as a Christian believe in what you do, and why you believe in Jesus, and why you've chosen that path. So anyway, one of the things that came to our focus was that we knew that there was a shortfall with showers. We knew that there was a lot of people out there that just weren't getting showers, and for various reasons we knew that we wanted to do something to get showers to the people. And so we created our first mobile shower bus, and And then out of that, due to its popularity, it just took off. And so then we created a second shower bus. And due to the fact that we were busy working both shower buses, we're just continuing to dream and look forward. And so we found another need. Another need was through our engagement with these people on a daily showering. Then we realized that they were trapped in a cycle, a broken cycle. Trapped in a cycle of going from one clothing bank to the next clothing bank, and then wearing their clothes in between those handout days. If they give out clothing on Thursday, these people would wear those clothes until the next Thursday or what have you. So they're anchored, they're ball and chain to that location or to somewhere in that vicinity, so that they can get a change of clothes, because truly they just don't have the resources to do laundry on a regular basis. So we wanted to come up with something that would create an opportunity for people to do laundry. And so we came up with our third bus, which is called Faith, which is a mobile laundry bus, and it's about to go into service in early spring. We figure about 4 more, maybe 5 months still under construction, and we're going to launch Faith. So we got Grace, Mercy, and Faith, and they're just combing Modesto, and it's amazing that we're doing this in Modesto. I mean, we're just a pinhole, in the grand scheme of things, but it's like I was telling you earlier with the starfish story. We believe every individual matters, and the idea is to just focus on the individual, encourage the individual, start to remind them that there is hope. I'm proof there's hope after homelessness. There really is, and you just gotta, sometimes you gotta buckle down. But for me, I needed God in my life. I needed to realize I couldn't do it on my own. And it takes time. It takes baby steps. People want to go save the world overnight. It doesn't. It takes time. It takes a life dedication. But look what he can start with no resources whatsoever.
An EBT card.
An EBT card.
Yeah.
That blows the mind. But it's truly just that simple. The Bible says, "Despise not humble beginnings," and had a very humble beginning. But people are taking notice nationwide, worldwide. China contacted us and wanted to air our stuff because this is universal. It's not even just local or nationwide. It's universal. We have poverty everywhere. Christ said, the poor you'll have with you always. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Sure, we're not going to stop homelessness. We're not going to end homelessness. But we can impact it to the good, and the church should be the forefront of that. We are Matthew 25 in action. The Starfish story is just simply about a little boy who's walking on the beach one day, and the tide was out, and all these starfish are up on the shore, shriveling out in the sun, right? And so this little boy, he's just all about it. He's out there throwing starfish back into the sea, and he's just going at it. And this old man sees him, and he's like, "What is going on? What's that kid doing?" As he gets closer and closer, he says, "Hey kid, what are you doing, man?" He says, "Man, I'm throwing these starfish back in the sea." And he goes, "Why? Why are you even bothering? There's thousands of them." He goes, "Well, if I don't, they're gonna die out here in the sun." And he says, "Yeah, but look, there's hundreds of thousands of them. You're not making a difference." And the little kid sat there and he thought for a second. He smiled. He reached down and grabbed another one. He threw it in the ocean. He said, "Well, I made a difference for that one." Exactly. And that's what it's all about. That's why they say if you wait until you can do everything for everyone instead of doing something for someone, you end up doing nothing for no one.
I think they can help by just, being aware. Maybe start talking with some of the homeless people around you and asking them what they need. And then, maybe you can't supply all their needs. But the truth of the matter is you do have a couple bucks to supply some of them. And so if we're honest with ourselves and we really want to solve this problem, we're tired of seeing people. Because, the mark of a society can be measured by how they treat the people that can do nothing for them. And we're seeing, every day here in California, how we treat those who can do nothing for us because they're in the streets with nothing. They're homeless. So if we really are a civilized society, I think that we'll start recognizing that we can do more and we can help. And sometimes it just costs a buck or two to give someone a sandwich or to give someone a hot dog or, a burrito, a taco. There's so many 99-cent menus nowadays at these different fast food places just to give them something, And everyone doesn't like the homelessness situation. But what are we really doing to solve it? What are we really doing to help the situation? Are we really invested? Not just for ourselves because we're tired of seeing homeless people, but because of our, in my case, the love of Christ, but for other people who may not believe in Christ, for their humanity, man, these people are living like this right around us, and we walk past them like they're not even there. And that's one of the things in my conversations with them that I've seen, is that that's one of the things that hurts the most, is when people, you're in need, you have no recourse or no way to help yourself, and people just walk past you like you're not even there. That'll give you a definite perspective of society, and it's not a false one. It's a true one.
Man, how can people help you? Like average people, that's the whole purpose of the documentary, is how can we help y'all?
I would say people who are businesses, to give people with a little bit of a record a chance, you know what I'm saying, to actually show what we can do instead of judging us off what we look like.
Amen.
Yeah, that's the main thing right there, I would say.
So you just, your whole thing is, I just want to work.
Exactly. Just want to work, man, but won't nobody give us chances because what we look like and how we dress, and you know what I mean?
No, I get it.
The basics, exactly.
Yeah, no, I get it, man.
I mean, they don't even go off, they don't even know that we have a record. They just go off what we look like, and so they're automatically judge us or profile us as a certain category, you know what I'm saying?
Off rip.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just like the people driving by and everything else, they profile us, they judge us. They don't know why we're out here, what circumstance led us to be out here.
Well, it doesn't matter, man. Everybody goes through hard times.
Exactly.
Something happens, it's just the people in the cars, the only difference is that they were able in a situation to have some better luck.
Exactly. Maybe have someone on their side to help them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So,
amen. Yeah. So what else? What else is the needs, though? What are the needs out here?
Showers, bro.
Showers. So y'all know Dean?
Do what?
My boy Dean has a shower shuttle.
Okay, I heard about the shower shuttle.
Yeah. He's up in Chico right now. Is this where y'all be at right here?
Yeah. All the time.
Because I can send him through.
Yeah, all the time.
When I talk to him, because I'm interviewing him for this, because he does Beardbrook Park and he does Oregon Park.
Okay.
And he be out there, but if y'all are here, then I'll let him know y'all are on Emerald.
Tell him to hit Kansas,
hit Kansas?
Emerald, man. We'll bring everybody,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what's up,
right
man.
here, bro. Right here, that's where it is.
Yeah,
that's where it is?
Spot. Yeah.
The ones on the hill, man, they moved us up the hill, man.
Yeah, they come through every couple days now.
Nobody up in
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I hear you, man, and I know that it ain't easy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, showing your kids and stuff.
They gotta learn.
It is real easy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To lend a helping hand, you know what I'm saying? I try to do it every chance I get to anybody. It don't matter, you know what I'm saying, who it is.
Yeah.
Any extra change, you know what I'm saying, and they're through the line here, I got them. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want it to pay forward. And sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm grateful for everybody.
God
like
see all. And there's going to be a day when we go before Him. And we're going to be butt naked. We're going to have these clothes. We ain't going to have the situations that we have. Exactly. And He's going to judge us. Yeah. Not only for what we did, but why we did it. And that's what everybody needs to be sober and understand, that we have one that's greater than us. That every time they walk past you, you know what I mean? Every time they left y'all here without no help, they're going to answer to God for that, man.
Again, if you're a believer, I think in Matthew 25 it states, that He's going to separate the goats from the sheep. And a lot of times I think that we believe we're sheep, but in actuality it's not necessarily true, because our fruit decides whether we're sheep or goats. And what kind of fruit are we bearing when we walk past people in need every day? We refuse to feed those who are hungry every day. And Matthew 25 shows us, when He separates and He says to the sheep, He says, I was hungry and you fed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was in jail and you visited me. I was in need and you met my need. And they say, Lord, when did we see you in need? Or when did we see you hungry? And He says, I tell you, as you've done this unto the least of these, you've done it unto me. And then He speaks to the goats and He said, you see me hungry, you see me, in need, and you didn't meet. And they said, Lord, when did we see you hungry? And he repeats it again, but in reverse now, to those who didn't do it. And He says, as surely you didn't do this on the least of thee, you didn't do it unto me. And that's what I think the key is that what are we doing unto the least of these? Again, a society can be measured by what we do for those who can do nothing for us, the least of these. And the Bible's clear on that. When we provide for the least of these, it's like we're providing for the Lord. So to walk past them is not a great situation, knowing they're in need. Especially when you have a couple extra bucks in your pocket, that you can help a little bit, even if it is just a Band-Aid. At least blood's not getting all over them. I think we need to move past Band-Aids, but sometimes a Band-Aid is all you can do at that moment, and a Band-Aid's better than nothing. So it's a hard situation, but I think it's one that Christ wants us to address, especially as believers, you know, and hopefully, you know, more people will raise up and will start doing more. A lot of people are doing so much. When we go down to Beardbrook, you see it. So many people are out there helping, but there's so many people still that are not. There's so many people that don't even know that they can help. There's so many people that don't know how to help. So hopefully in this video, we'll be able to provide more of that information.
Loving your neighbor as you love yourself. If you were in need, would you hope for help? If you had nowhere to turn and all the doors were closed, would you long to be rescued by a hard to go? If things went different, it could have been you. Yet if things go different, it can be too. And what you do for the least of these, you do unto the Lord.
Thank you.